You know what they say in Hollywood, loyalty lasts only until the camera stops rolling. And baby, when it comes to Meghan Markle and Tyler Perry, it looks like someone yelled cut a long time ago. This isn't just a little fallout, it's a full-on blindsiding betrayal playing out behind the velvet curtains of Montecito. Remember when Tyler Perry basically rescued Meghan? Let's not forget, private jet, security detail, his mansion. He gave her everything when the royal family turned its back. He didn't just offer support, he handed her a new beginning on a silver platter. And Meghan, she couldn't stop singing his praises, called him family, support, even said he was the godfather to her baby. Fast forward to now, crickets, not a whisper, not a thank you, not even a measly shout out in a podcast. And this isn't one of those people grow up hard moments. This is like watching someone get erased in real time. Meghan's gone from worshiping the ground he walked on to acting like he doesn't exist. At first, people made excuses. Maybe she was too busy building her brand. Maybe he was off writing another Medea script. But then the red flag started flapping in the wind. Meghan avoided his name like it was cursed. Literally, during interviews where his name should have come up naturally, she dodged it like a pro. A source even said she kept referring to his home as just a friend's place. Excuse me? A friend's place? That's how you talk about someone who saved you from a royal media firestorm? Then came the Paley Center tribute event. She didn't sit with him, didn't walk the carpet together, didn't even look in his direction. That's not awkward, it's surgical. Meghan was slicing him right out of the picture like she was editing a bad scene from her life. So what the hell happened? People thought it was shady timing, but honey, it's not just shady. It's calculated. Meghan doesn't make random moves. Every friend, every photo, every Instagram post, it's all curated. If she's cutting someone loose, there's always a bigger reason. And then it hit, allegations, ugly ones, about Tyler Perry and some inappropriate behavior toward a former house guest. And Meghan, the queen of speaking her truth, she said nothing. No Instagram sending love. No vague I stand with survivors tweet. Not even a passive-aggressive podcast monologue. It was like the man never existed. And for Meghan, that silence speaks volumes. This is the woman who dragged the British monarchy on Oprah, who called out racism in the press, who built her entire post-place persona around being brave and vocal. And now? Radio silence. Why? Because she knew. That's what insiders are whispering. Meghan heard about the Tyler Perry situation before it exploded in public. She was warned quietly. And that's when she started editing him out of her life. Not with a press release, with silence. Like erasing a sentence from a memoir before the book even goes to print. It's disturbing how clean the exit was. One day it was, Tyler saved us. The next it was, oh, that house we stayed in, yeah, a friend. The transformation wasn't clumsy, it was smooth, seamless, ruthless. And that's the part that's got everyone whispering. Because Tyler Perry wasn't just some Hollywood friend, he was the guy who stepped in when everyone else slammed the door. He gave the Sussexes cover when the whole world was calling them frauds. He housed them, protected them, advised them. He choreographed their comeback. He was there, and now he's being treated like a background extra. But here's the real tea. Tyler might have receipts, not emotional receipts, we're talking real deal. Emails, texts, voicemails, stuff from a time when Meghan was scrambling to rebuild her image after fleeing the UK. And if those ever leak, it won't just rewrite Meghan's origin story. It could shatter it. People forget, Tyler was deep in the game. He knew the strategy, he helped with PR, he handled security, he probably sat through hours of planning sessions, phone calls, crisis talks. If he decides to open that vault, boom. And don't think he won't. Some people say Tyler's too classy to speak out. Others say he's too powerful to be ignored. But let's not pretend people don't have breaking points. Tyler isn't just fighting whispers right now, he's battling headlines, serious ones. And guess who's nowhere to be found? Meghan. The same woman who once called him her guardian angel now won't even tag him in a throwback. That kind of silence cuts deep. Especially when you were there helping her hold it together when everything else fell apart. And this isn't the first time Meghan's done this, is it? Let's rewind to Jessica Maroney, her best friend. Her ride or die, remember her? They were practically glued together on Instagram. Then Jessica got caught up in controversy and poof. Gone. No explanation, just wiped from Meghan's universe like she never existed. Now, it looks like Tyler's the next one getting ghosted. And here's the kicker. Meghan's whole brand was built on kindness, loyalty, empowering others. She sold herself as the woman who lifts people up, the underdog who wouldn't forget where she came from. But if you look close, that image is starting to crack. It's a pattern. People orbit around Meghan when she's rising, and when they become inconvenient, they vanish. And these aren't nobodies. These are major players. Jessica, now Tyler, people with voices, people with platforms. If Meghan's cutting ties with Tyler Perry over PR concerns, it's not just strategic, it's fear. Fear of what he might say, fear of what he might confirm, or worse, what he might contradict. Because Meghan's image, it's pristine, polished, perfectly lit. But all it takes is one person to say, that's not how it happened, and suddenly the whole illusion starts to wobble. Behind all those manicured photos, those curated captions, those carefully chosen interviews, there's a truth Meghan Markle seems desperate to outrun. A truth packed with people she once clung to but now pretends never existed. And as she races forward, desperately trying to curate her next reinvention, the cracks in her foundation are getting harder to ignore. Let's talk numbers. Her podcast, on hold. That overhyped lifestyle brand, it flopped harder than a $5.00 clearance candle at Target. Even the press, yes, the same press that once celebrated every word she said, is shifting their gaze. People magazine is back to obsessing over Princess Kate. Glossy headlines that once screamed "Brave Meghan" now sound like lukewarm praise. Inside her circle, it's chaos. PR firms rotating in and out like it's musical chairs. Staffers bailing, longtime allies pulling away. And the ones who are still around, they're not building the brand anymore. They're salvaging it. Yet on the surface, Meghan's still smiling, still posting about joy and peace. But everyone sees it now. It's not reinvention. It's panic and pearls. The most glaring sign, she's not even subtle about the cleanup anymore. Mentions of Tyler Perry in old interviews are vanishing, gone from press blurbs. Archived clips are being trimmed. Photos of Tyler, once proudly front and center, replaced with newer, more brand-safe moments. It's the kind of deep scrubbing you do when someone goes from trusted friend to potential threat. Let's not kid ourselves. Meghan's entire post-royal empire hinges on optics, on control. She's built a perfectly staged life, but if Tyler Perry speaks even just once, it all unravels. And word on the street, he knows what's going on. Sources say he's hurt. He's clocked the distance. He's not stupid. He knows what it looks like when someone is ghosting him. And trust, Tyler Perry is not the kind of man who's used to being erased, especially not by someone he risked his reputation to protect. And while Meghan might be betting on his silence, on him being too classy to speak out, that's a dangerous game. Because the only thing riskier than an ex-friend with receipts, who feels used. And let's say he does talk. But that's not quite how it happened. That would be enough to rip a hole in the narrative Meghan's spent years crafting. Maybe he reveals that Meghan wasn't exactly blindsided by racism inside the palace. Maybe she planned her exit more strategically than she let on. Maybe those late-night calls weren't about emotional breakdowns, but about PR spin. Maybe he just shares a glimpse of the real Meghan, less the victim, more the architect. And that's when things start to shift. Because the minute the public stops seeing Meghan as wronged duchess and starts seeing her as manipulative mastermind, game over. No Netflix filter, no glossy photo shoot can reverse that kind of damage. And Tyler isn't the only one warming up backstage. Word is, more people are waiting. Former aides, staffers, insiders with NDAs that might be just about to expire. And if one of them steps forward, the rest will follow like dominoes. And let's not forget that infamous bullying report from the palace, the one Meghan's camp swears is just a smear campaign. People who've seen it say it's not vague, it's brutal, it's specific. If that ever leaks, her polished persona won't just crack, it'll crumble. But still, Meghan's strategy remains the same. Keep smiling, keep moving, keep cutting ties before anyone notices. The problem, the more people she ghosts, the more she gives them a reason to speak, because at some point one of them will. And when that first domino falls, it won't just be a bad headline or a social media storm. It'll be an identity crisis, because Meghan's whole brand, the activist, the survivor, the truth teller, relies on her version of the story being the. But what happens when the people she's cut off finally tell theirs? What happens when Tyler Perry says, actually, let me set the record straight? What happens when her past, packed with discarded allies and carefully silenced voices, comes roaring back? That's the risk Meghan Markle is running right now. She thinks she's rewriting the narrative, but what if the narrative is rewriting her? Because when your empire is built on control, the slightest wobble can send the whole thing toppling down. And Tyler Perry, he just might be the match.